MediGroup Physician Services presents MediGroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters. Today's guest is Jared Neville, Director, OPM National Accounts for B Braun Medical. Now here's your host, MediGroup's Frank Gillespie.
Welcome to another edition of MediGroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives. I'm your host, Frank Gillespie, and we appreciate your being with us today. And today we are here with Jared Neville, Director of Corporate Accounts for B Braun. Welcome, Jared.
Hey, Frank, thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad you're here. We really appreciate it. And I know we went back and forth and trying to find a time to get scheduled, so I'm glad we were able to finally lock it down. So welcome. Jared, I promised you we wouldn't waste your time, so I'm just going to jump right into these questions and we'll take it off from here. So question number one, Jared, how long have you been in your role as Director of Corporate Accounts for B Braun? And can you share a general overview or snapshot of what your role entails?
Certainly. I've been with B Braun for a little over 15 years, but in this current role for the last year. And my primary role is the corporate correspondent with Provista and managing the accounts and really the contracts that we have with Vizient for the Provista side of things.
Fantastic. And I know that's how we met in working with some things that we're doing for Provista and Merge. And you've been most responsive and really great to work with. And we really appreciate that. And thank you for paving the way for some new things for our organization. So thank you for that, Jared. Jared, second question, how has the approach to sales evolved since the onset of the pandemic? And what of that which changed do you think will stay an ongoing practice or approach?
I would say that it's been challenging for everybody, both the providers, obviously distributors, certainly us. I think it's still evolving, and then what becomes our quote unquote new normal is still to be determined. But I do think that this form of selling and interacting with folks obviously has been forced upon us. But I do think that there are some customers, people that really prefer this. It certainly allows for introductions and meetings to take place over, instead of spending time traveling, you can certainly hit and interact with a lot more people this way. But I certainly looking forward to getting back out into some face-to-face meetings, and certainly nothing can replace that in my opinion.
Absolutely. It's sort of a two-edged sword, if you will. And that's probably the most common response to this general question that I've asked others, is that the Zoom has had an impact and changed a lot of things, but there's still that itch and that need to get out and meet face to face. So totally can relate to that. Jared, there has been a lot of concern in the industry recently about product shortages. Has this affected B Braun's ability to service its customers? And if so, do you see a light at the end of the tunnel with that?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said that it didn't. Unfortunately, just the global supply chain has impacted everybody. We're a global company, but the light at the end of the tunnel for B Braun and the things that we're doing, the Braun organization will ultimately have invested $1.2 billion in new U.S. capacity. So that's modernizing our existing IV plant in Irvine, California, expanding production and warehouse space in Pennsylvania, which is where our U.S. headquarters is. And then finally, really the light at the end of the tunnel for us is we did get FDA approval for our new IV plant in Daytona, Florida, which should have shipped its first lot of IV solutions earlier this week. So not an immediate relief, but certainly getting that facility up and running has been a long time coming. That will certainly give us the capacity to grow in the United States.
Definitely appreciate the transparency there, and wasn't fully aware of your Florida facility. So that's good to know, and definitely sounds like the building blocks for getting rid of this log jam are in place, and not just for you, but for all companies. So that's fantastic news, and the Florida plant really is encouraging. Great.
Yes, yep.
Appreciate the transparency there. Let's see here. Question number 4. Jared, in your opinion, what is the most important strength someone would need to be successful in this industry?
This is going to sound maybe like a canned answer, but I think customer service in its most basic form, we all want to be taken care of as if we're consumers. So I always try to apply that in dealing with my customers, whether it's working with channel partners like yourself, distributors, or the customer themselves. I treat them the way that I would want to be treated. And I think if you're trustworthy and honest in that regard and truly interact with people in that manner, whether you're delivering good news or bad news, they can respect that. And I think that ultimately, you're selling a service or a product, but you're also essentially selling you along with it. So I've always strived to try to take that higher road, regardless of what path that may lead, to really service my customers in any facet.
And that shows exactly the way we've been treated by you and the rest of the Braun organization. So really appreciate that. Thank you. And definitely customer service is probably the forefront of what needs to be done. So appreciate that response. Okay, this went quickly. I told you we wouldn't waste your time. We're on the last question. So Jared, what do you do to relax, have fun, favorite hobby? What do you get into?
I enjoy working out, but really my pastime is my 5 kids. So my wife and I spend a lot of time traveling to various sports for 4 of them. So they keep us quite busy, and it's just fun to watch them grow and compete.
Absolutely. You've mentioned the kids before. I forgot that it was 5 kids. So you definitely have a busy home life for sure. So that's awesome. It's wholesome and I love it. So
part of the reason I want to get back out and travel.
Yeah. Excellent. Jared, I can't thank you enough for your time and look forward to continuing to work with you. And I'm glad we were able to make this happen and got our computers all situated and working this morning. So again, thanks for your time and have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Talk to you soon.
This has been MediGroup's Frank's Fast 5 with healthcare executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters, and hosted by Frank Gillespie. Special thanks to Jared Neville, Director, OPM National Accounts for B Braun Medical. This has been a presentation of MediGroup Physician Services.